Welcome to Reddit Reader. Someone gave you a box that contained everything you have lost in life. What's the first thing you'd search for? When I was 17, I shot roll of my film of my then girlfriend, now wife. I remember everything about that day and would give almost anything to have those pictures. We've been together 18 years and married 11 as of next week. What happened to them? Never got developed. It was an old Nicomat SLR, and sometimes the film wouldn't catch to wind it back into the cartridge. I opened it in the dark and wound it by hand, but at the time couldn't afford to spend the money to develop photos that might have been exposed. My grandmother's ring. Technically not lost, but stolen by an old flatmate. 20 years later, that still me off. You, Brody. Having a scarf made by Grandma, that is the most sentimental thing I own. I feel you on this. You, Brody. First, remove all the socks so you can see what is in it. Next, remove all the pens, pencils so you can see and pick up what is in the box. Then, and only then, look for interesting stuff. My deleted Minecraft world. My yellow stuffed duck that a TSA agent ripped to shreds because he thought there were drugs or something in it. I was like 5 and it was my first time on a plane. I have panic attacks going through security every single time now. I'm kinda tired of the TSA. They make getting on a plane unnecessarily slow and arduous. It'd be different if they were good at finding drugs or weapons, but they statistically miss most of the contraband that is sent through in tests. In 2016, my husband and I took our then 8 and 11-year-old children skiing. My son is shy and gets overwhelmed by learning something with others watching, so we were prepared to pack it in and spend the day in the pool if it didn't work out. After ski school, we took them up to the gondola to do a gentle green run, but my son was pretty scared and moving about an inch a minute. My patient husband waited while I went off with our exuberant daughter. It took forever. We had time for hot chocolate at the lodge, and I began to seriously be worried that something might have happened to them, or that my son was distressed and crying. Then my daughter starts tugging my arm and pointing madly. Somewhere on that run, my son had found his groove, and as I grabbed my phone and started filming, he came tearing down the slope like a pro, and finished with a gorgeous spray of snow right in front of me, and the biggest smile I'd ever seen. Heart grew 3 sizes that moment, and I caught the whole thing on video. We spent a lovely day with the kids begging the gondola chiefs to let us up one more time as the sun went lower. On that last amazing run before we went home, I fell and my phone slipped out of my pocket into the snow without me knowing. Since the phone was at a cellular range, the video didn't sync to the cloud. Phone was never found by ski patrol and I assume was destroyed in the spring melt. That video is in my box, and it's one of the few things I want in life. Love the story, but I got to admit that I was waiting for you to say you lost your kids. A teddy bear, still my favorite to this day, that I lost in Florida for the 2 years I lived there. I was in first grade, and I lost it in the airport. I had a stuffed teddy bear named Skippy because I love PB&J sandwiches that my parents lost in storage when we moved downstate. I thought lost as in couldn't find it, but I later learned that they lapsed in their payments to the storage facility and the company got rid of our stuff. This was when I was around 7 or 8. I'm almost 30 now, and I'm still salty about losing my bear. My classic green Game Boy got lost in one of my mini moves, as well as my GameCube, though I'm pretty sure one of the movers yoinked the GameCube. When I was a kid, I went to this fair in small town Harrison, Maine, where my grandma lived. I was only given like $8 and decided to try to win a porcelain doll at one of the dart games. Unsurprisingly, since I was a kid with nothing, I kept trying and failing again. Eventually, I ran out of money. The person running the stand felt bad for me and let me pick one of the smaller dolls anyway. I love that thing. It wasn't from my grandma, but it made me think of her, and she died a year or so after I got it. About a year after that, my family's house was foreclosed on, and being a hoarding home was completely condemned. My parents salvaged some things, but only their useless hoard, nothing that mattered to us kids. That doll ended up in a dumpster with the rest of the hoard, and I'll never forget it. That one scene I've been searching for every night since I was 15. Somewhere out there, beneath the pale moonlight. Describe it. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, and subscribe so you don't miss our next upload.